It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, my name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends, and I want to thank everybody that actually subscribes to my show, that actually checks out my show all over the world. Today, I have somebody she's an actor. She does a whole lot of things. She hosts, and she's also acts as producer as well. And on the show, my show, The Legends, I bring you Debra Coco. What's up, Deb?
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to my show, The Legends.
Thank you for having me.
So tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, because you do a lot of things, and it's not really common to see a lot of women wear a lot of hats like you do. You know, I see you all the time. You're hosting shows. You know, you're doing your own thing. She's also an actor. She's also has some movies that she's been involved with. Also, Juicy on Tubi. Y'all gotta watch it.
Right?
You gotta watch it.
Yes, Juicy.
You know, but tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, you know, I started out, such as like you, here at BronxNet Studios about 10, 11 years ago. Started out wanting to do films. I always had like a thing for communications, right? So I started out doing the show here, bringing guests, and then it branched out to people reaching out to me to do appearances, to do hosting. And then I started doing my own events. And, you know, through interviews and things like that, you meet and you network and you meet so many different people.
Most definitely.
Right. So there was like this trend where I started meeting all of these, you know, up and coming filmmakers local in our area. And I was like, wow, I really got intrigued by all the different movies and things that I was seeing. So I was like reaching out to them. And next thing you know, I started getting offered like different roles. And I must say, I really, really love it. Thank you to everybody who's ever allowed me to be a part of their cast and everything, because I really enjoy it a lot. But I have about maybe 4 or 5 different productions on Tubi right now, outside of Juicy. But, you know, check me out. See how I do, you know.
You know, hosting for you, what do you feel as far as your energy towards other people actually receiving you? Because I've seen you do a lot of events.
Yes.
And how do you feel when people are actually receiving you that way?
I mean, I love it because, I mean, it's not that that's what I'm doing it for. This is something that I feel like I really, really love. A lot of things in entertainment, whether it's fashion, music, sitting down interviewing. So when people that I don't know come up to me and they actually say, oh my God, you're such a good actress. Oh, I love you in this. Or when I go out and host, they be like, oh, I watch your show. Or keep doing what you do. Like, I love that kind of, you know, motivation and inspiration from people. And, you know, we all do what we do, but we don't do it thinking how it affects other people. You're hoping that people that watch you understand what you're doing and how you're moving, but to hear it out loud, it's like, wow, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
To actually watch your playback on TV, you know, and you say to yourself, if I had to do something different, what do you think it probably would be? You know, because you do the role, you capture yourself, then you're at home watching yourself. How do you actually perceive to the point where you feel to yourself, well, maybe I should have did something a little bit different there?
I mean, I feel like in every instance, there's always an alternative, an option or a choice. And believe it or not, a lot of times when I do filming, I don't watch myself.
Really?
No.
Oh,
Even when I
wow.
do shows, I don't really do the playback because I'm a person that's in the moment. You know, if I study for a role and I actually do the role, I might, you know, I might watch it once or twice, but it's like the whole build-up for me. And then when it happens, it's like the climax of it all. So, and then I'm like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess it's good to go back and look and say, oh, I could have did this, I could have did that, because that's a learning component. It helps you to grow, you know?
Through this whole ordeal, you ever thought about doing your own production as far as writing your own films and things like that?
Well, I'm actually writing something currently. So, yeah, I'm working. I have a couple of people that I'm working with. So, yes, I would like to use my film production experience, and I would like to actually put my own spin on a show or you know, a production and see how that comes out.
Well, you know, a lot of people do things for monetary reasons, and I feel that if it's the passion, you get more out of it. How do you feel about that?
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. Like, getting paid for what you love to do is awesome, but then you get paid in so many different ways. Like, I actually do bring in an income from hosting. People do pay me to host. When you do your show, you get your product placement, your sponsors. That's also a way to also do it too. But at this point, I've always felt good about having the opportunity to do what I love.
Okay.
It's more important than money to me right now.
How do your children feel about it? Just actually see that you're doing something positive like that. Do you feel they're going to actually follow your footsteps? Well, first we even get into that, because she be on online, and they do this thing where they be dancing all the time.
I'm a TikToker now from my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you think that by them seeing actually what you're doing, they're actually going to positively, you know, fall into your footsteps?
Well, I mean, they do have their own path. Like, my son is an entertainer as well. He used to model, and he also raps and does his own music. But he's the type, I want to do my own thing.
That's great.
I don't want you to open up the doors for me. I want to get what I'm supposed to have on my own. And I respect that. I'm like, okay, you know. And my daughter, she's totally shy. She doesn't want anything.
She'll be shy to me.
Right, right, when we TikToking, right? But she's totally shy. Like, if she had to speak on camera, she's actually in the finale of Juicy, and she was like, I'll do it if I don't have to say a word.
Okay.
And she did it. She kidnapped me in Juicy.
My question to you, Deb, is who's your ideal host?
Who?
I mean, everybody
Ideal
has an idol.
host.
Everybody has an idol.
Locally or nationwide?
Nationwide.
Nationwide, my ideal host. That's a hard question because I don't watch TV much. But, you know, I would have to say, you know, Ralph McDaniels inspired me to do this. And I feel like he's...
Ralph?
Would you consider him a host?
Ralph has a lot of...
He can be a host.
Well, I've had Ralph on my show, and based on his story, he wears a lot of things that goes into a lot of things, and is very infinite. So I would say that he's a good idol, because he's a good idol to me, because, you know, anytime that people run home from school to watch Ralph McDaniels, that's a big deal.
He kept us out the street.
Yes, he did.
Because we were running home. Mother didn't even have to get a babysitter. You was running home to make sure you can catch Video Music Box, right?
You know, so my thing is that for people that actually want to get into this, what would you actually suggest for them?
I would suggest do research. I know everything is so pop-up, so YouTube. You could go on there and look up anything. You could bake a cake even if you never baked. But you know, there's so many things you can do having this internet access at your fingertips. But I really, if you're interested in this field, I would say do an internship. Like, really go in and work with some people that is doing this on a full-time basis. Understand the challenges of it. Because, you know, everything looks great on the outside. Right? It look like, oh, that's my dream job. But you don't know how many hours people are putting in.
Yes,
you don't know how hard it is when you are working for a television network to edit down to the second. Like, there's a lot of stress because I've interned at BET before I even got into this. So to see, like, the challenges that people had, it's like, do you have what it takes to do it?
My thing is, have you ever, let's talk about preparation. You know, how do you actually create your mindset to actually go ahead and just go forward with your craft?
Well, after doing this for so many years, like, I have an idea of, like, the different genres I want to talk about. Like, the things I talked about when I began, I'm definitely kind of moved on from those topics because I've aged, you know, so now I might be a little bit more community-based. But it's usually something that when I hear it, I'm like, oh, I got to do that. Like, you kind of have a knowing after you do something for a certain amount of time. Like, what topics you feel you should cover. Like, for me, I want to do things that are important in my community. Things that can affect people in my neighborhood, that can benefit people, or to just raise awareness for certain things that are going on, along with music and film, and highlight positive people in our community, you know?
You know, through this highlight, have you ever connected with any politicians?
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about that and where have that actually taken you?
No, I'm saying I have a good friend of mine is a district leader. So I have this past year, I've been going to quite a few political events, which is great because I'm hearing about things that are happening with the seniors in certain neighborhoods. I'm hearing discussions on homelessness.
Right.
I'm hearing discussions on like after school programs, the lack of in certain areas.
Right.
And these things affect us, you know?
So if you had the power to actually change anything like that politically, I mean, what would you actually do and how would you actually go about it?
Well, last year I actually not funded, but I ran an after school program,
Right.
which was very hard to do post-COVID because a lot of people still weren't coming out. A lot of programs were shut down. A lot of children didn't have access to facilities where they can go and let loose and be creative. So last year I actually ran a program that did drama, arts, dance, theater.
Right.
So yeah, I had the opportunity to see children smile
Oh, that's great.
after COVID and feel like they had something to look forward to when they left the house besides school, because the people were going to school and home.
Right.
So now they have an opportunity to express themselves through poetry, through art, through dance. And I think that that was very necessary last year, you know, trying to get back to normalcy after being locked down for a year or two, you know?
How has the pandemic actually, what has it done to you as far as your career?
I think it expand my base. It caused me to step out the box a little bit because I was so used to actually coming to the studio and doing face-to-face interviews. So it's like now, okay, look, I still want to do interviews, so how is this going to be done?
Right.
Right. So then they offered us this virtual opportunity, and not knowing, you know, not really wanted to lose the face-to-face, but I did enjoy the aspect of speaking to people outside of New York.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, you could have Jersey people, but I'm talking to people in Atlanta, you know, and people could just log in and be able to do interviews. So I think that doing the show during COVID, I think it opened up me being comfortable doing those virtual type of interviews, and it expanded my reach and expanded my base, you know?
Okay. You know, we all have a way that we really want to create ourselves and give our energy to other people.
Right.
You know, I feel that what we do, we could also utilize it in a more positive way to expand. Now, I always think big, you know, nationwide.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I feel if I had that opportunity to actually do that, I think that'd be very grand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The message that I would actually have to give to people is something more positive because there's so much negativity out here.
So much.
I blame politicians, really. I mean, you can hate me if you want, but you know that's just the way I feel.
You're entitled to your opinion.
You know, I feel that I feel that they actually give a negative message because I believe that children are teachable. Children could also be authoritarians.
Most definitely children are teachable.
They could be taught to be leaders as well.
Right.
And by us giving great examples of way that they should conduct and actually perfect themselves, I believe that if it was actually put in the right perspective, the world would be a whole better place as far as they're concerned.
I could definitely agree.
Well, you know what? We're going to come right back after this break, you know, so y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
His or her house. This is our house.
My assignment, my calling is to inspire, uplift.
You have to make sure your people are partying.
All I want to do is just bring joy to the dance floor and watch people dance.
Tino. And we're back. This is my show, The Legends, and my guest is Debra Coco.
Yay.
So, Debra, before we even started, you got any shout-outs you want to give to anybody?
I just want to shout out to anybody that follows, support the show, any production that I've done, any TikTok that I've done. Because, you know, I'm on a spur with it. I love to be creative. And when I'm
Right.
not filming, I could be out anywhere. And I'm like, look, we gonna record right now. My friends be like, what are we going to do? You know, that's just how I am. I just love to have fun and enjoy life. But shout out to everybody that has supported me in any way. We all have to support and motivate each other,
Right,
man, to
most
keep
definitely.
going. You know, even though we are public figures, we have our down days.
Yes, we do.
And sometimes it really makes us feel good to just look online and
Most
somebody
definitely.
say, keep going.
That's right.
You know, I'm watching. Like, you know, I'm rooting for you, you know. And it always doesn't come from those closest to you. So I want to shout out to anybody, whether I know you, whether I don't know you. I appreciate the motivation and the inspiration because we need it too.
Any current events that you want to leak out to anyone that you might be doing?
Well, I have a documentary that's going to be coming
Really?
out. Yes.
Okay, now.
It's going to be coming out soon. And it's about me, but it's not about me.
Okay.
You know, it's very hard for women in this business to kind of move and make certain moves. You know, it's a lot of things that we have to avoid.
Right, right.
A lot of traps that we have to move around and still smile and still love what we do. So I'm talking about it from that aspect, from women, not just my own story, but I'm telling a story that I'm quite sure that a lot of other women can relate to, because a lot of us women that we're mothers, we're, even though males, y'all fathers and everything too,
right.
but it's like we have the household to take care of, we have our children that we have to raise. We just have, we're actually following our passions from a different perspective, and it's not easy.
Okay.
You know, we got relationships you're trying to keep up with, and that could be dependent if you with the right person or not. That could really disturb your energy, and you know, and that's any relationship, whether it be friendship. Your closest circle is very important to watch the energy around you. You know, one bad apple could spoil the tree. You know what I mean? So
You know, I'm here thinking and listening to what you're saying, and I suggest you should write a book about your journey.
I'm writing a book too.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I was told that when the documentary comes out, I need to have a book to
Right.
follow it. So I'm hoping to do that. And who knows, there might be a spinoff from Juicy. Let's see.
Why not?
Let's see. It might be a spinoff. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen in 2023, 2024, you know?
You know, you be around all these celebrity guests, and how do they really receive you? Because I see they look up to you a lot as far as you expanding, giving, and being very informative to them. So
It's about relationships.
Right.
I mean, it really is like, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not a groupie with it. I'm not going to run
Right.
up to them and be like, oh my God.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You talk to them regular, you know, because anybody you meet, you're supposed to meet.
Right.
It's not by chance, you know, and either you accept that and you own that, or, I mean, I've been around all levels of people. Like, I'm fortunate to have the opportunity to meet a lot of people in hip hop, but I've worked at the stock exchange. I was on the trading floor.
Okay.
I've met Bon Jovi. I stood next to Jesse Jackson, Bill Clinton.
Okay.
Like, these are big people, don't get me wrong, but we're all big in our own right.
Right,
And I'm
definitely.
saying, though, I've stood with people that make this world, money move around this
Right.
world. I've been in boardrooms with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. So yes, you see me online and you see me, you know, with the hip hop, you know, legends or R&B legends and stuff
Right.
like that. But there's a whole nother side. Like, this has not just happened for me. This has been like my whole life. I've been around people that make a difference in the world, whether it's through music, whether it's through politics, whether it's through, with so many different
Right.
aspects of life. Like, you walk into those rooms and you own those rooms no matter where you at, you know?
At the end of the day, when this is all over,
Don't say that.
when it's all
I
over.
get you know. Don't say it's over.
No, but I'm just saying in
Yeah.
the fact, you know, we all have a beginning, we all have an end.
Right.
And stuff. So to even sum it up, where would you want to be at least 5 years from now?
If I'm not doing acting, I would love to be an author.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I really have some stories to tell, and I
Right.
think that you know, I could use my I have a writing background as well.
Right.
I think I could really write some powerful stories with some great messages, where I could share some of the lessons that I've learned in life through
Right.
stories. You know.
Right. You want to sit down one day and tell your grandkids about who Debra Coco is and the things that she's done. And I think that'd be a great reflection to actually tell your family tree about who you are and what you did. You know, how
I
do you
would
feel?
love that. I would love that opportunity. I would love to be able to pick up a book and be like, or look on TV, be like, oh, that's grandma. Or, you know what I mean? Like I have 3 grandchildren now, and I took them
Right.
out to a Christmas show that I did.
Right.
And they looking at me on stage like, what you doing up there, grandma? You know?
Well,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm working, you know?
Well, you know, it's for me. I got 13 grandkids.
Wow,
and I got
that's a
4
blessing.
great grands.
Great grand. That's a
Great-grands.
blessing. That's a blessing.
You know, and they call me granddaddy.
They do.
You know, I don't want to be old. Don't call me no grandpa. Don't call me pop.
They can call me grandma. They can do all that because it's a blessing to even be called that. I'm good with that, you know?
You know, and I look at how they actually receive me. You know, sometimes you see me on they see me on YouTube and they be like, take on granddaddy. You know what I mean? And I feel it makes me feel good just to see that they react to me like that.
Right.
So, you know, one of my grandsons says to me, you know, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to do this. You know, I'm also a DJ. I'm a producer. I'm an engineer and everything. And, you know, I have one specifically.
Photographer.
Yeah, I do everything.
You know,
I shoot music
right,
videos, you know.
right.
And my grandson is like, you know, you want to teach me this? You know,
should.
and I feel that he's going to be the one, Nathaniel. I think he's going to be the one that actually does this, and you know, and carry on my legacy.
That'll be
You know, it's
beautiful.
very important that, you know, that you set an example for your kids, but not just talk the talk. You know, just talk the talk and just, you know what I mean.
Right.
Just do
Walk
it.
the walk as well. Walk the walk as well, right?
You know, and stuff. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, through this whole ordeal and this whole journey and things of that, how do you deal with your self-satisfaction?
By doing the things I love. That's the best way to put it. If I could do something entertainment related every day,
Right.
I go to bed with a smile on my face. I swear to you. It's some aspect. If I've been creative or I've been able to put my mind and see something come to life, I'm happy as a bug in a rug. You know that expression?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the highlight for me.
Okay.
And also, you know, I'm a teacher. So
Right.
when I go to school every day and I know that I'm making an impact
Right.
in somebody's life, like that is very fulfilling. That kind of job is not easy, but it's very fulfilling.
You know, I seen a scene of you on YouTube where you was actually playing as a teacher.
Yeah. I played 2 different teacher roles.
Right.
Actually.
And I was like, wow, you know, Deborah's really doing her thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not just a gangster girl. Like I have like this alter ego, you know,
Right.
that I play. But not like that. I don't have a machine gun.
I'm only playing.
I got a little poop.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I'm saying it's just the alter ego that I'm just satisfied. But at the end of the day, I love to have a positive impact on people.
Right.
And I'm just acting and doing things that I'm loved, and I'm showing other people that you can do it too.
Right.
You don't only have to be 20 years old, 30 years old. It doesn't matter. You can follow your dreams. I see people now that want to do music or be a rapper. Hey, do it.
Right, right.
Do it, man. Don't leave here, leave it, and no stone unturned. If that's what they call it, right?
Right, right.
Live
Yeah,
your
definitely.
life, man. Live your life.
You ever thought about singing? Oops.
I have. I actually did do a song about 2 years ago, and I was in the studio for the documentary. I was trying to put something together. I don't know if I'm going to finish it,
Right.
but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, look, trying to do it all like you.
Yeah.
I can't DJ now,
Right.
unless they got the one where you can press the buttons. That's about as far as I can go.
Well, you know, I lay my hands in a lot of things because I believe that God has utilized me with gifts. And I believe that
right.
if God actually gives you gifts, you are supposed to utilize it because I believe that this is my season.
Right. Claim it.
That's my whole thing.
Claim it.
You
That's
know.
why I TikTok and dance, because I love to dance.
Right.
So it's not like I'm in a dance group. So what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm a TikTok and I'm a dance, right? Because I love to dance.
I'm feeling the fact that everything I get into my hands into, sometimes God uses me to the point where I don't even know that I could actually do this. I'll give you a quick story. I went to church one time. The pastor asked me to play the drums one day. I couldn't play the drums. I
You
said, I thought I couldn't play. I said,
Right.
you got to be kidding me. You
Right.
got to be kidding me. He said, well, you play music, right? Just follow after me. I started playing 1, 2, 1, 2. I started putting my little thing in it. Do you know I played for some of the biggest churches in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Next thing you know, you was like, boop,
Yeah,
boop,
yeah.
boop, boop,
But
boop,
this,
right?
this is how God uses
Yeah.
you. But you never know
You
what
never
you can
know.
actually do. You know?
You just got to erase that fear. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I said sometimes you just got to step outside the box, right?
Okay.
Sometimes we get so used to the things that we do. We have that routine and we just do it diligently every
Right.
day. And we're just like, okay, then you go home and you're like,
Right.
okay, the day's over. No, I don't want those kind of days. So, you know?
But we'll be right back.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
The dynamic soul sound of DJ Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe.
That's nice, 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 nice,
DJ Tyrone Lowe. The dynamic soul sounds of DJ Tyrone Lowe.
And we're back. And this is my guest, Debra Coco. So, Debra, let's let everybody know how they can actually contact you.
Debra Coco on everything. Just give me the mic on everything. Yeah. All social media platforms you can follow me. So check me out.
Check her out, because she's worth being checked out. You know
High
what I'm
energy.
saying?
I'm doing a lot
You
of
know,
different.
she's
You don't
doing
know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
gonna do that day, right?
I mean, for a sister, man, she's really out there, you know. And, you know, I want to say that I really thank you, honestly, for being on my show.
You're
Now, she's
welcome.
been on my show before virtually. And the thing about it was when I actually did a virtual, I wasn't really prepared for the show. Because I usually do it in my recording studio, but at that time, it just didn't happen. But we did the show.
Yes.
And she got over 1,000 views. I was like, whoa, that's beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's been an honor having you on my show, and come again.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
You know,
I appreciate
I
it.
feel that more sisters need to be actually be acknowledged for what they're doing these days. You know, labor for the fact that as women are being liberated and all this other stuff. You know, but I believe in the sisters. I really do. They say for every man there's a strong sister behind them. You know what I'm saying? And women are leaders by their own right. You know what I'm saying? And I really commend you for doing what you're doing. You guys got to check out Juicy. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. When I first watched Juicy, I was up all night.
I'm a binge watcher.
Because I was like episode after episode after episode after episode.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You know,
That's really nice. I
you
gotta
know,
tell the team.
You got to be able to actually, you got to really commit yourself. And
But there was one production I was in called A Teenage Story.
okay,
Like 1 million views.
really,
Check that out. A Teenage Story by Streetline. Like 1 million views. It really did good. Also Pocket Full of Game, 1 and
Right.
2. Like I could run down a list, but and then you could also catch on Tubi like Forced to Sin, Project Heat, Juicy. Like all of those are great productions.
right? They certainly
But a
are.
lot of good producers here in New York. Great cast of people. You know, people are branching out and
Right.
doing Netflix and all other types of stuff. So you have to support.
Support this sister.
Right. Right.
I
support
want to
me.
thank everybody for actually tuning into my show. This has been another T-Lo video production, and you guys stay tuned for another episode. And I want to thank my guest, Debra Coco.
Thank you for having me. And this is The Legends, everybody. Make sure you support and follow Tyrone Lowe, too, okay? Make sure y'all all follow. He's all over.
Say bye to everybody. Bye.
Bye.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house. It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.